Hi everyone, welcome to Bonnie Caroline Makes Cards. Today I have a fun and easy shaker featuring Simon Says Stamps Center Cut Fall Leaves. We can expand on the suggestion in the title Fall Leaves by just changing up the color and you have a perfect spring or summer card. So let's get started. I began by inking up Bristol Smooth cardstock with Distress Oxide inks. I used peacock feathers, cracked pistachio, and tumbled glass. I inked 2 pieces of cardstock, starting in the center with my lightest color, and then working towards the outside edges with the cracked pistachio and the peacock feathers. Working back and forth between my colors and slightly overlapping each time, I continued until I had a seamless blend. Using Versamark ink, I stamped the center cut heart on heat-resistant acetate. I used Judikins embossable window plastic. The heart was embossed with Simon Says Stamps fine white detail embossing powder. After the ink blended panels were completely dry, I embossed them. I first tested to make sure they were dry by putting on some embossing powder and making sure that it would knock off cleanly. I embossed both of my panels, completely unnecessary. My original plan was to make 2 cards, but the design just wasn't working out, and so the first card hit the bin. So there you go, I ended up with 2 embossed panels for this card. Again, I used Simon Says Stamp fine white detail embossing powder. There's a lot of embossing on this panel, and so I just took my time and worked slowly across it, applying the heat. I held the panel horizontally at eye level just to make sure that everything looked nice and glossy, and then I knew I was done. Both panels were die cut using the largest die in my favorite thing, stitched rectangle stacks 2. To prepare the panel, the heart from the middle of the panel was fussy cut following the embossed line. Using the stamp, a heart was traced on white sheet foam that was the size of the embossed panel. This heart was also cut out. I made sure to go a little bit outside of the pencil line so that when the panel was overlaid, the foam would not be seen. The panel was lined up on the foam to check to see if there was any more trimming required, and there was. The panel was adhered to the foam base with some white glue. The foam can take a while to dry and potentially can slip around. I like to pop my MISTI on top to make sure that there is good contact between the panel and the foam base. Clear pearl sequins and white beads were mounted up on the base of the shaker. The shaker material was kept well within the perimeter of the heart before gluing the foam-mounted panel on top. The independent shaker was then attached to an A2 size top folding card base. To finish up this card, Simon Says Stamps hand-lettered Happy Birthday was die cut from both white cardstock and foam. To stack this very fine sentiment, the foam die cut was left intact, only removing the negative portions of the letters. These then acted as registration points when I laid the sentiment out of cardstock that had glue on the back over top of the foam. With the help of my tweezers, I was able to get the sentiment out of cardstock and foam aligned. A little bit of glue dotted on the back and the sentiment was put in place. The overhanging tails from the sentiment were trimmed off. And that wraps up this fun and easy shaker card featuring Simon Says Stamps Center Cut Fall Leaves. As always, I appreciate your visit.